Well, yes, indeed, I am in Woodmead and I'll be speaking to the leader of the Veterans League of the ANC to get their insights of what they make of this report that has come out on Sunday, and now the response from the Secretary General of the ANC, who's indicated that indeed that meeting did take place, but is refuting the claims that it was a meeting to oust President Cyril Ramaphosa. And right now, Snuki Zikalala is standing by next to me. Good morning. Thank you so much for making time to speak to us. Let's first start with your initial reaction when you saw the report saying that there is a plot to oust President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Well, we as Veterans League were very shocked. We don't think that should have happened, that anybody in his good senses will think of ousting the president of the ANC, because he was elected unanimously, of course, with narrow margins in December. And it's not possible that it can be ousted. Secondly, I think as a Veterans League, we're happy that the Secretary General of the ANC admitted that he did meet with the president, the former president of the ANC, but he refused to divulge the content of the meeting. And we're happy that he said he reported the whole thing to the top six of the ANC. And so it will be up to the top six then to inform the NEC what was this meeting all about. And I don't think it could have been about the plot. I don't think so, because it's unimaginable that people can think of doing that, because the ANC is very strong on the ground. And that, of course, in KZN has been consolidated, and they're all fully behind the current president of the ANC and the president of the country. And so I don't think people can think of doing what it is reported they've been doing.
Would it be important, and as you've indicated that Magashule has said that he has spoken to the top six about this meeting with the president, do you think that it may be important for the top six to divulge this, the content of the meeting or what was said to them by Ace Magashule?
I think it's important the top six to divulge, because the top six, especially even the NEC and NWC, were much more interested in ensuring that every South Africans, especially those who are members of the ANC, rally behind the ANC. We're having the most contentious elections coming 2019, and we want all of us to mobilize society, to show society that we're prepared to be behind them, are prepared to rat corruption that is happening in the country, and that we are all behind the current leadership of the ANC so that we win the 2019 elections. It's important that the top six should divulge and say this was the content of the meeting. And of course the meeting should be about mobilizing the ANC, integrating the structures, ensuring that the branches are functioning properly, and then we win 2019 elections and nothing more.
You say that it's unimaginable to think that there would be people who would plot to oust the president, considering, of course, as you said, that he was voted by the majority of ANC delegates at the Nasrec conference. But in that report, in the Sunday Times report, they also quote some sources who have been saying that they have been believing that there is a plot to oust the president, or at least to undermine the leadership of the ANC. And do you think, just based on some of these comments and now this revelation of a plot, alleged plot to oust the president, that there should be an investigation to really get to the bottom of this?
I think we should get to the bottom of this. We as Veterans League, we want this matter to be clarified. We don't think that people can do that. But of course, the public want to know exactly what was this meeting about. But I'm saying that it's not possible to oust the current president, because we have to wait for the next 5 years. The president is popular in the country. The president has brought stability in the country, despite the fact that there's economic downturn. But we know exactly what is happening. The president has allowed the Zondo Commission to go ahead. A lot of revelations are coming in. The president himself said he's prepared to go in front of the commission. And so that's what public want to hear. Public want to see that the ANC is doing something about the rot that is there, about those who are implicated in mass corruption in the country. And society is happy with that. And so as I'm saying that, we don't think that that plot will succeed if people are planning that.
The political cloud, maybe, of these characters, if indeed it's true that they're trying to undermine or overturn the president's tenure as the leader of the country and the leader of the ANC, they may not have the political cloud, but the report also indicates that one of the avenues that they are looking at, and this has now been confirmed as well by Ace Magashule, that there are branches of the ANC who are saying that let's go and challenge the outcomes of Nasrec in court.
Well, let them do so, but they'll be wasting their money. those branches, and what I read and what I know is that those are branches coming from Northwest. And so as you know, that Northwest itself is a PTT that is there, and so it means that the PTT is the one that has to take over. The branches themselves, of course, some of them do exist. It's a democratic right to challenge any process, but I'm certain that it's a lost cause. It's a definitely lost cause. That won't happen. They can take the matter to the court, but the courts will review the matter, but the court will come with the same outcome, that the whole elections was democratic, and he's a president was chosen by the majority of the ANC delegates at Nasrec.
I'd just like us to take a few steps back, or actually a couple of years back. In 2001, the then Minister of Safety and Security made an announcement that there is an investigation against, quite ironically as well, Cyril Ramaphosa, Tokyo Sekgwale, as well as Matthews Posa, who are trying allegedly to overthrow the then President Thabo Mbeki. Can you take us back to that particular incident and what damage it caused to the party and probably the country?
Well, it did cause damage to the party itself, but to the country did not, because we had a very, very strong leadership by then. And that happened about 8 years ago, about 10 years ago, I presume. And of course, that time I was still the editor of SABC News and Current Affairs. It was a traumatic experience, because there were a lot of accusations, there were a lot of documents that were given to us, but eventually the whole matter settled down. And so I'm saying it's ironic that it's happening now when Cyril is a president. But I think Cyril Ramaphosa, as Thabo Mbeki, that time, they have a firm ground and firm foundation of leading this country and leading the ANC itself.
Would you like to see the president himself, Cyril Ramaphosa, speak on this matter publicly, like Thabo Mbeki did at the time with an interview with Deborah Petter?
Well, I think he should. He'll only do that after he has briefed the NEC and after he's briefed the NWC. He'll have to come out and say, is it true that is happening? But we as Veterans League, we don't think it's possible. We don't think it's true, because it's unimaginable that people can think of plotting to oust the president of the ANC and president of the country. We don't think so. Well, it's up to what Comrade Magashule said, that he has briefed the top six. The top six will then have to tell us, as members of the NWC, members of the NEC, what was the meeting all about. If the meeting was about roping in the president, because at the last NEC, it was said that the top six must call President Zuma and tell him and talk to him about the utterances that he keeps on making, saying that he knows who's behind, he'll reveal the names. But why should he go in public about that? If he knows who's behind his ousting, he can reveal names of people who are behind this, let him do so publicly. And so if it was about that, it's welcome. If it was about something else, we don't know what, then Comrade Cyril and the ANC must make sure that it takes action against that.
But I guess as a veteran of the ANC, Jacob Zuma also, you guys would probably have the powers as well to call him and say, listen, as a veteran of the party, can you explain what the meeting was about? Is there any truth to these allegations?
Yeah, we as a Veterans League, we have those powers. What we'll do, we'll put in our next National Office Bearers meeting, which will take place next week Thursday, and we'll put it to the NEC of the ANC Veterans League to say, we'll call him in and say, President Zuma, member of the ANC Veterans League, can you tell us what is this meeting all about? It will be a normal conversation between us and him.